Now, this is the first time I've seen this this presentation of yours, and I wasn't aware that you donate money to like orphanages or this or that. Have you helped out individuals who have had similar things happen like you did?
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us about some of that?
Yes. In fact, the first 3 people that we helped out were motorbike accidents. Unfortunately, the one person passed away 2 years ago. What made it close to me, because it's very close to what happened to me, was I sort of knew where he was at the time. Unfortunately, he had a little bit more injury on his head, and he never woke up. But we tried our best. We got together. We tried our best. I could get people to come in, and we would go and visit, and we just spread that love, because I believe that could, help him. The second guy actually got bitten by a mosquito, and in Taiwan you get a shot on your arm, and he was a foreigner. He didn't get the shot on his arm. So a few people got the sickness, Japanese encephalitis, except it disappeared after 2 or 3 months, not feeling well, quite sick. But for him, he fell into a coma, and he actually saw him in the video. He's been there for about two years now, and each week we will go there and visit him and just continue trying to give him support. But I'll be honest with you, this was the first year of Haxstrong when I was starting it, so I didn't really have other people to help me, but I was just following the things that I knew. I was like, okay, he needs help, he needs help. But that builds up on a person that's doing it by himself all the time. So people started coming in, so that kept me going. And eventually it came to a stage where there was just too many people asking for help. And that's when I realized that I'm going to give them help through the help of everybody. So I would find out who would like to help cancer, and then we will create an event for that. Who would like to help AIDS, we will create an event through that. And that shifted all the work of me trying, not me, but I don't know how to say it, like putting it onto the people, and they were creating the help to help those people. And that's where we are at today. That's where, if somebody is in an accident, we will, of course, help the person. And it's actually quite amazing that people obviously get into accidents still, and I get lots of messages. And then I just ask those people, okay, what can we do? What can we do to help this person? And those people will come. Maybe somebody can make bags. No, we can make bags, and we can sell them at this event. And I'll give the place, I'll give the bands, I'll give everything. And people will come together, and we help create help for whoever needs it.
Cool. Anybody else have questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
What are your goals for Haxstrong's future?
For the future, there's actually, we are registered, and the government did ask, what is your purpose of Haxstrong? And I said, is to help people. And I said, no, you need a specific goal or purpose for you to have a registered charity. And I couldn't quite explain to them, but I said to them, I want to be a middleman in a sense, because people want to help, but they don't know where to go to. People know that there's lots of distress out there, but they don't know where to start. And I want to give them the opportunity and show them where we can start, give them the path of starting that. So that's just my thought of where I want to get Haxstrong to. And the government, again, you need to give a particular purpose. I've been actually thinking that's the question posing at the moment. I've been thinking for the last 4 days about that, and I think what I will say for that is that we help people in distress. So people with in accidents, people. We also help out abused women, people in distress, people suffering from cancer, they're in distress, things like that. And they seem to be they seem to be taking that as a thing. But my goal is just to make everybody just feel love and support and give it to other people.
Other questions? Gregg, you started this before you had a non-profit, right? And that's what it is now. It's a non-profit organization. You started this before you had a non-profit. What were the struggles that you had? I mean, obviously you had to do a lot of the work by yourself, but what were some of the other struggles you had before it became so large that you had to make a non-profit?
But what you mean? You mean when I was starting it off?
Right. Well, I guess what was the process between just starting it off and then actually wherever it was when you actually had to create the nonprofit? I guess it's sort of a two-part question. Like, what is the process of creating a nonprofit, and then where were you in this process when you realized that you had to go in that direction?
Well, the beautiful thing about when I was starting it is that you could sense certain people would come along, and because it's a charity, it's a non-profit, and nobody's getting paid, and people came to give their time and their love. And that's what kept me going at the beginning, right? But then, as I said, it got bigger and bigger, so I needed to get more structured and everything. And the first thing that I needed to do was to get the charity registered. And that was a mission. It took me 2 years because you need to find 50 people to sign up as members, with each of them having positions. So you have a treasurer, you have directors, you have
50 positions.
Well, not 50 positions. I think 12 positions, but you have to have 50 members. And it had to be in Kaohsiung, so it had to be in that district. So that took a while, and then the reason why it did take a while because I'm trying to create a charity, registered charity, people are not going to stop needing help. So while I'm trying to do that, I'm also still trying to help. I'm still trying to keep to you never ever alone to anybody that's asking that. And so for me, the greatest day was when we did eventually get registered. That opened up a lot of doors for us because I could go to a university and say, guys, we are a charity, a registered charity. If you give us your time and stuff, that is credit for the universities. So a lot more people are interested in helping Haxstrong in that sense. And then also I could go to a company and say, we're having this event, would you like to be a sponsor? And if you're a registered charity, they're likely going to say yes, because they can get back from that. And they are. So it became a lot easier once we were registered.
Actually, I have a lot of questions on this topic. Does anyone have any other questions on other topics? Because I'm going to keep asking about the non-profit.
I don't like his questions. They're scaring me.
Does anybody have a question? Okay. What kind of recommendations do you have for other groups that might want to do something similar but that are not in Kaohsiung? So if somebody wanted to set up, I'm not saying specifically exactly like your group, but another non-profit that's similar. Like maybe they want to do it in a slightly different way or something like that. What kind of suggestions do you have?
Well, obviously this is based in Kaohsiung, and there have been groups of people that have asked if they want to create something. And to be honest with you, the direction in which you have to go in to get this, as I said, you need to have a particular amount of people in there, and they sort of you need at least 10 people that are stuck to the cause, right? And then you can create the registered group. But with these groups that have been asking me, they just seem to be people that, as I said, everybody wants to help. So like, hey, I see this Gregg Haxton guy's doing this actual thing, let me contact him and ask him how I can do this, because I want to help in a different way, but I want to help. And those are the questions I'll say to him, like, do you have a particular structure and pass, because you can't do it by yourself. And then what we do, we normally end up having events around Taiwan through Haxstrong, through them. So they'll do it through Haxstrong. Yeah, that's pretty much that's where I'm at the moment, because that's where I'm at the moment. But I wouldn't be able to give some solid knowledge.
Well, it sounds like what you said, a core group of people that are willing to be completely involved in it, and then also a bunch of people who are willing to sign on to it.
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds like a big hurdle to overcome.
Yeah. It is. But if you show the love and you show that you're helping, those people will be there. And that's why it took a while to get there, but it got there. And it's amazing when it got there, suddenly the doors open, and there's so many more. Because my biggest thing, and this is our goal, me and Andy. I love him to bits. He is my translator, and we often the committee often meet and talk about this, that, and this, and that. And always in the back of my head, I always think to myself, this is Taiwan, man. This is not South Africa. This is not Canada. And we're doing everything in English. We're putting up the posts in English and stuff. So I put up a post about Nepal. I said, boom, Chinese, boom. And then suddenly, from 15 likes on a picture, it goes up to 45 likes. And you just realize that you're in a country with Chinese, and you need to get those people involved. And so that's what our mission. That's what we're doing together. We are trying to spread that. We're trying to make Taiwan know what's going on, because it's not that they don't want to help. They just, because Taiwan people love helping. They just don't know. They don't know. And I laugh because a lot of people will be like, oh. They read the Chinese message, and they know, they can do this, and they get involved with Haxstrong. And he's a big part in that. And that's what, as I said, I'm trying to learn Chinese now also to get onto that level, just so we can spread that around.
Other questions? Okay. Maybe this will just be an interview. I'll be interviewing. I have two questions, so I'm going to ask one of them because I'll try to remember the other one. But what are some of the organizations you've worked with in Taiwan? I mean, you could talk about bands or something like that, and I'm not trying to necessarily ask you to promote anyone, but I'm really curious because I saw Goober Gun, but I'm not sure of who else you work with or...
Okay, well, you see, that's the thing about me is I feel like I have a way of communicating with people and rubbing off on people and vice versa. And a lot of the stuff, well, not a lot of the stuff, all of the stuff done for Haxstrong is through love and to help. So if you're saying what are the organizations I work with, or bands and stuff, I ask them, mate, like, hey, man, your music, I go to all their shows and I say to them, hey, your music is amazing, man. Do you think maybe you can write your song, when you get it up? And they'll be like, oh, okay. Because they know that they're going to create that for Haxstrong, and that's going to be helping people. That's giving them an opportunity to use their passion to help people, which is what I'm saying about Haxstrong. I'm trying to give you that thing, right? And and like, for example, Gina over there, she created our booklets. I mean, she's really good on the computer and stuff, and that's when I was first starting Haxstrong. Wanted to get booklets out and stuff. Again, too much English. And she said, yeah, sure, I can do that for you. And she sat down and she created this booklet, and suddenly we had these booklets. And and my vice president, her market is so different to mine. Mine is not into the bands and stuff because that's just my sphere. But she's a family lady, and she gets the younger kids and the families involved in it and those kind of events. So not really organizations that I work with, it's just people that want to help. And that's what I love about Haxstrong so much. As I said, I meet such good people just working for them, and they are creating this. As I said, they are the strong and I'm the house.
Andy, I'm curious, how did you get involved in this organization? I was just telling you a minute ago that I didn't actually. This is the first time today that I met Gregg. We talked online maybe starting about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. But then I really randomly found out about it because I was telling somebody about this group, and they said, you have to talk to Gregg. So I did, but how did you get involved in it?
Gregg's job is a grammar school teacher, and my friend is his student. And my friend invited me to this party which he held last year. It's a Chinese Christmas party. And I met him, and I realized that a foreigner helping someone and helping everyone in Taiwan, why I can do that? Why I still, I don't know how to do, but I met him. So I want to try hard to help him, like translation, like what I can do. But I just a college student, so like Gregg said, his friend is foreigner, and my friend is Taiwanese. So why Haxstrong didn't make bigger? I think that's the problem. So the first things I have to do is to translate them in Chinese and get Taiwanese involved. Otherwise, Gregg's friends offer me, but not more.
Okay, cool. And what has been your experience? How long have you been involved in the group?
About a year.
About a year. And what kind of things have you worked on? What's been your experience? I mean, I'm sure you're going to say that your experience has been positive. It's been a good thing, but maybe tell me a little bit about the last year.
I'm working with him. Last time is a speech, and we speak English and speak Chinese and get Taiwanese involved. And quite he's so touching about me that he truly wants to help people. But this time we want to help Nepal, but we can't. That because the government say we are illegal.
Nepal's government?
Yes. No, not Nepal.
Taiwanese government.
Taiwanese government. Because if you want to raise money in Taiwan, you have to register so many forms. But like Gregg said, he's foreigner, but he can write so quickly. So the government is the first question to raise money. So that's why it's a challenge.
That was actually going to be my next question for you, Gregg. I thought it was interesting that you mentioned Nepal. So what are you guys doing about that?
Okay, well, we started out Haxstrong for Nepal page, which was trying to get everybody together because terrible thing happened there, right? And I know that a lot of people want to help, and it's clear that a lot of people want to help because once we started that page, there were messages coming. And we were collecting money at certain events to try to raise for Nepal. And in the last week, we've managed to raise about $12,000, which is amazing. So then we had to obviously get the money there, and that's when this problem came in where we had to fill out certain, I think it's like a 14-page application form to raise the money and then send it over to Nepal, which I would not have known at all if it wasn't for the involvement of Andy and the Taiwanese people that could come across this information. Because I'll be honest with you now, the documentary that they shot last year, September, on the documentary we're at offices, we registered, and we're ready to go. But I didn't know the format of that. I thought we registered now. But that only allows us to raise money within Taiwan, not past the boundaries of Taiwan. And so we obviously have stopped raising money for Nepal because of that, because we have to fill up which is what we're doing now in the next week. But we are also at the moment collecting because a lot of people have second-hand stuff, clothes or blankets or whatever, lying around, especially foreigners. So we've got drop-off points around Haxstrong where people are coming and dropping off their clothes and stuff. And once we have legalized everything, we're going to send that all off to Nepal. We've got some people in Nepal that are sending us information between the two countries to make sure it's all legal and everything. So that's what stopped us in our tracks. So we're not going to continue doing that because it's illegal. So we're gonna legalize that all in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, fingers crossed, and then we can continue our help on that side.
It sounds like the government is doing that, like, to prevent fake organizations from literally funneling money out of the country.
Yeah.
But that sounds like that's also creating it so real, true, helpful organizations have even more trouble helping outside of the country.
Yeah, so it's very, very frustrating because the people on the Haxstrong from Nepal committee are going out of their way. They're really doing so much for what they're doing, and they've got this passion to help. But then we hear this, and it's very frustrating. And it's also understandable because some people might create a charity to get money to Nepal, but then they'll pocket the money. So it's very understandable. It's just, as I said, just very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I can think that bureaucracy
Yes.
can be extremely frustrating because you think that you just invite them down. Come on down. Look at my documentary. I mean, this is not. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm not doing this to funnel money.
It's exactly. I was like, yeah, look, they're registered on TV, and now you think I'm not what, you know. But I also read. Obviously, we were doing research to try and figure out because the thing about Haxstrong creating or getting the money, if anybody's going to go down for that, it's going to be me because I'm the president, and the fingers are going to point at me. And we were doing research just to try and figure out what we could do now. And I came across a story saying that Taiwan tried to donate $300,000 to Nepal, and Nepal turned it down because they wanted to stay in the good books of China. So there's a lot of. It's so weird because in my head I'm just thinking like, shame, man. These people need. And there was even a thing I put up for the donation of clothes. Somebody wrote saying, "Is that new clothes or old clothes?" And I was like, anything. People wanted to donate clothes, and we're only accepting second-hand clothes, no new clothes. I was like, what is going on here, man? It's not about anybody else, it's about them. And as I said, it's just really frustrating. But we're just going to go in a straight line and just, hopefully we'll come to a good thing in the end. These are the kind of things you don't know until you actually do it. You're not letting me donate.
Yeah, it seems like something that a very cynical person would assume.
Yeah.
But not a person who's like very hopeful and like,
Yes.
come on, we can do this, we can help.
Yes.
Oh wait, we can't.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how it is. So I have to hug them and say, just keep what you're doing, keep it up, keep that spirit, keep it going. You'll get over this. You'll get there.
Now the organization is registered, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
legalized already.
Yes, but it only allows us to raise money in Taiwan through our purpose goal, which is what I was trying to explain. And I was like, our goal is to help people. So then I even suggested that why don't we take that money that we raised, give it to a big organization like Red Cross or something, and then they can give the money to Nepal. I just want the money to go to Nepal, man. And they're like, no, that's illegal as well because you raised the money, and then you're going to give the money there. You have to show me your paper where you raised that money. And I was like, okay. So that's what, as I said, that's why we're doing that. But that registration is, I can, because with this you get registered, right? And it allows you to help people. But if I have an event for cancer, I need to go and fill out these forms, and then they give me a number. And that number has to be on every single donation box that I place around the town. So if you put that money inside the box with a number, that money is legal to go to where it's need to go to. So that's, as I said, that's our mission now, is to do that, right?
Because people have to realize that Taiwan is doing this one. Organizations actually, it's kind of like diplomacy. You know, they are doing this as a diplomacy because they don't have a straight relationship with others, but they are using those groups. For example, the Turkey. I'm from Turkey, but Tsuji is everywhere in Turkey. They're helping other people, go to the east side or west side. I'm seeing that on, the Facebook. My friends are also helping them for something that they're helping, they're everywhere in Afghanistan and others. I think it's kind of like diplomacy. Yeah. And Nepal is rejected that one. Yes, I read about that one. In school we got this topic that we were talking about, and then the professor was explaining what's going on. This is kind of like the politics.
Do you agree with that?
No, of course not, because the people need help.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like what you and I was saying, but from their perspective, they see people raising money and maybe pocketing it, and they have to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, they wanted to organize it and they wanted to control it. That's the point.
Yeah. Yes.
I just wanted to ask another question, which is, if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to answer it. It's just like before the accident, the Gregg, and after the accident, which one you like, or what do you want to say, what do you want to feel about it?
About Gregg before and Gregg after.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I loved the Gregg before. But the Gregg before loved himself so much that I could get away with a lot of stuff. Like if somebody's sad or I could just be, and then then I go on with my life. But now after, which is amazing, this is the gift that I received, is that I see a lot more. I like to say a lot. I lost an eye, but I gained a greater vision for life, because I can empathize, sympathize with people now. And I'll be honest with you, one thing about Haxstrong is that I get messages from a lot of people that just want to talk and just want some sort of push. And I'll sit there for hours and chat to them. It just makes me feel so happy that I can help them. And so I love the new Gregg much more than the old Gregg.
Thank you.
Actually, Kenny brought up a good point, and we had a warm-up discussion. Kenny said that when I was discussing, and this has always been a problem actually, is like a lot of people ask the question, what does Haxstrong do? That's confusing. What do they actually do? And I always say, we help people. But what if they give me money, where's it going to go? What's it going to happen? What's going to happen? There's a lot of holes in our mission for people that don't know me. For me, obviously I know the mission. If you're going to give me money, it's going to go to those people, right? But for other people, they might not really know. And that might stop people from donating to Haxstrong and helping with Haxstrong. And that's another thing where we are trying to build a better structure. And again, to your first question, your question, the main goal. I need to get it. I need to make it. I think maybe you guys might have seen it. 4 weeks ago, I started a campaign called the Some Don't. Some Don't campaign. Did you see it?
Say some what?
Some don't.
Some don't.
Yes. I can show you actually. I think it's brilliant, but again, obviously my Facebook marketing skills seem to, because my thing was boom, there it is. If you like it, share it. Let people know. I was trying to explain it to people exactly what we do with each banner that we made. But each banner was in Chinese. Trying to bring the Chinese. I need to figure out where. Look for pink. There we go. Pink. So this is the first one. Papa, Mama, Shanghai. Do you know the meaning of these words? Some don't. And then it says help orphan children, right? So obviously some children don't have all that. So I was trying to play with, what's it called? Some kind of marketing, like a smart kind of marketing. So now, hopefully when people see this, they will know that Haxstrong helps orphanages. That was the first one. And then I think I made 3 or 4. Not me, some brilliant young guy, 20-year-old with these ideas. As I say, I just get everybody involved. This is, I can't even read that.
Girl.
Girl. Do you think a woman should be treated with respect? Some don't. Help abused women. Okay, that's the kind of campaign I started 4 weeks ago to try and give an idea to people what we do. So there's like 3 or 4. The other one is.
Is this just in Taiwan right now, or is it being spread around, like in South Africa? Are your friends starting to pick it up? Are they posting it?
In the first year, I tried to do that. But I went from international to Taiwan to Kaohsiung. So Kaohsiung, I have to start small, right? You start small and you build up. And the nice thing about that is that, yes, I'm focusing a lot on Kaohsiung to get those people and then to spread it out. And it's working because people from Taipei and Taichung are phoning and asking how they can get involved, right? In fact, I've got an event on the 30th of this month for a cancer person who needs money because his cancer's come back and he needs some different kind of treatment. So on the 30th, we're gonna raise money for him and then get money.
I guess what I meant was this thing you're specifically talking about, the sun.
Well, that's why when I started this, I said my marketing is not too good because what I did was boom on the Haxstrong page, share, and maybe 10 people shared it and stuff, and then that was 3 weeks ago. Like you guys didn't know. Like this should be flying around. I mean, it's sort of smart, right?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and it should be flying around Facebook. So I'm thinking of different ways to get this out there. So I'm thinking of maybe paying Facebook, the boosting, and I'm just trying to learn. I'm learning everything as I go along. And that's why when you asked me any advice for an NGO or something, I need advice. You know what I mean? Like I'm still trying to learn everything because again, this is not me. This is everybody. So this wasn't created by me. This idea wasn't by me. He asked me if he could do this. Yes, do it. And the registration for Nepal and for other events, I don't know anything about that because I'm in the hospital talking to Miguel, and then after that I'm talking to other people on the computer and stuff, so I don't have time. So I've got a group of people that are running and they're going to the government and finding out what we need to do. So they all know those logistics, right? And then I will obviously get into it as soon as I have time. I'll sit down and be like, okay, what do we have to do? Okay. What's that? Ming-Chen. Do you think there's always tomorrow? Sometimes. And how people are hospitalized by injuries and things. Anyway, that's the Sunload campaign. Do you guys want to see the song? I'll show you the song.
Sure.
Can I leave here without showing you the song? You in the song? Yeah, you are. I just have no idea what it is.
So do you allow, how do you allow people to use your emblem and stuff like that? I mean, do you like hold rights to it if somebody wants to use it to like help promote you? Do they have to talk to you first, or you just let them do it and then? I guess I don't know really what I'm asking. I used the Haxstrong picture that's just like your shirt to promote this speech
the
tonight.
background thing on
As
the
the back,
cover.
right?
And I was like,
But-
dude, that's
Right, but what kind of how far does that go?
Okay, well, to your question, should people ask you to use this? Like I use it if you want to use it because I understand.
Because it promotes the website also.
Because I want people like you know about Haxstrong through
Charlotte.
Yeah. It's just I just want this to be burnt into people's heads.
So the
And
faster it spreads around, the better.
And when people see it, then maybe something's wrong in their life or something with somebody. They're like, hey, this actually maybe we can contact these guys and whatever. Yeah. But obviously, I would prefer if somebody said like, hey man, we want to use your thing, can we? Like, yeah, sure. But if that doesn't happen, it's fine. As long as it's not bad.
Right.
Then obviously it gets bad and then it gets physical.
I can imagine a gang of thugs all wearing that T-shirt.
So as I said, we're trying to hit as many crowds as possible. So I'm just going to just show you, this is my latest project because, as I said, I'm big into the bands and the rock and roll. That's my thing, but I always get input from everybody else. And there's a DJ who's on RCRT and he's building himself up quite a lot. And he said, hey man, can I do something with your song? And I was like, sure. And then he sent this to me. This is his, what is this kind of music called? Drum bass or something. Drum bass. Dubstep. No, this is completely different to what the actual song is about. Anyway, my point is, it's I'm just trying to get as many groups involved as possible. So when I get this, when I do launch this, I'll try and get those young people that come to town to get into it, not just to
It's all the way at the bottom. It's all the way at the bottom. It's that one, yeah.
Somebody doesn't like the song.
No, it's fine. I just can't hear you. The song's fine. I just can't hear you.
I'll turn it off.
No, I want to. The song's fine. It's just I don't think the people in the back can hear you,
Okay,
and then the camera definitely can't hear you.
Okay, and this
You can start the song again. The song's fine.
Okay, no, I was just showing you the different.
Oh, okay.
This is the original.
Now I feel terrible.
This is the original from Cuba, which is my style of music and their style of music. I know where the volume is.
Which one? That's the volume right there. Yeah.
Did you see the crowd there? There's a big crowd which I was trying to incorporate so when they sing it live, people can sing back. Hope. Don't you think this is just amazing? I love it because this is their passion. This is what they can do. And they did it and it helps people that need it. Right? For the music video, we decided to do a more family incorporated song that I think would hit like a bigger crowd. So this is the music video we created. Yeah, in 2002, one of my friends unfortunately killed himself, like a very close friend of mine, and. Again, I told you music's been my influence in life along the way. And so I dedicated this song to him and to anybody else that's feeling alone in this world, right? Because it could, even if it just cheers up 2 or 3 people, at least it's doing its job, right?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Nice. Hi, we're Haxstrong, and we are dedicated to to anybody who feels beaten down
Other
or
one,
defeated
yeah.
by brains brought upon them by circumstance, chance, or fate in life. Despite the darkness around you, you're not alone. You are never ever alone. Because we are here, wherever you go.
grace of God.